Tipsy's them.
Something. What's happening?
Mxyzptlk.
Yes,
He literally breaks it down phonetically for you in the episode.
I did it as a bit, Scott. Yes, Mxyzptlk. Yes, I get. Yes, I know. And I made the joke that only you and Rebecca know how to like pronounce it correctly. But yes, they do break it down in there. Even though like when they break it down, it's so quick. Anyways,
it is very quick. But thank you, Paul Dini, for that.
Yes, I mean he knew exactly. He knew what was up. He knew people weren't going to be able to pronounce the name. But you know, obviously we could shorten it a little bit. Just call him Mxy, right?
Just so everyone else does.
Well, that's what his lady calls him, at least, right? This is an episode. This episode, I tell you what. Oh man, so cartoony. But hey,
I love this episode. I'm gonna say I love this episode so much.
You really have to be in a mood. You have to be in a mood. You know, like if you want, like, I want like a, you know, something Superman doing some Superman things. This is not the episode. If you want something cartoony, you want something very Looney Tuny. Oh yeah, this is the episode. 100%. So, but anyways, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to DC Fan-imated. Of course, Dave the Film Junkie, and with me as always, Mr. Scott McClellan. How's it going?
I'm a godlike being from a dimension twice removed. I'm just saying that explains everything.
It does. It does. And hopefully you guys are doing good out there. See some Ryan and King are just having a conversation.
Yeah, that started before we even got here. We don't want to interrupt them. Just let them
continue. We're talking about Mxyzpxilated. There's a lot of X's in this title.
There's a lot of consonants in this title.
Yeah, that's where it gets you get a little marble mouth when it comes to pronouncing some of this stuff. But yes, this is a very and then of course, like I remember last week you were like, oh, you're gonna remember the voice, and as soon as like obviously the first time you hear it, you just kind of go, oh yeah, it's that guy. You know, it's like, you know, that's my best Gilbert Gottfried impression. I probably could do it something better, but
oh my God, was he just pitch perfect for this role?
He pretty much is.
I mean, Andrea Romana knows exactly what she was doing when she cast him in this part. Because I think the first time I remember Gilbert Gottfried was when he was the voice of Iago in Aladdin.
That's right, he was. That's the bird, right?
Yeah, that's the parrot. Yeah,
the parrot. Yeah. I'm trying to remember when the first time I knew about Gilbert Gottfried. I don't even know. Might have been Aladdin also, or maybe it was something prior. I mean, I don't know. May he rest in peace, though, because yes, he passed away. What, 2 years ago?
About 2-ish years ago.
Yeah. He was. I mean, you hear his voice, you know exactly who it is right from the first word. You know exactly. You know that voice, and he had a very unique style to him. It was cool though, because when it came to Gilbert Gottfried, I remember he was showing up on a lot of podcasts, like comedian podcasts, and just to hear him like talk about things and talk about his career and just how he was, and then hearing other people talk about him, and he was a very unique person, a very unique entertainer. I mean, he I almost said kept quiet, but when he talks, my God, is that not quiet? But I'm just saying, like,
he's so distinct. I mean, no one else sounds like Gilbert Gottfried.
Nobody else does. But like, there's like things where I remember listening to a podcast and people would say like he was even though obviously he was very well known, had a bunch of money, he always like he pinched pennies like crazy. He was very known for being cheap, which is good. It's good on him.
Okay, let me ask you this, because this is always like when I used to teach and I would talk about connotation. Was he cheap or was he thrifty? Because cheap is like very negative. Thrifty makes it sound very positive, like, you know, he just didn't go and blow his wad wherever he went. So I guess the question is, was he really nasty about it?
No,
or was he just smart with his money?
You're correct, because anytime you hear somebody like be referred to as cheap, it's always there's a negative connotation to it. He was more thrifty with, like, you know, if he didn't need to spend certain amount of money, even though he had it, he wouldn't do it. You know, he wasn't going to he would fly coach. He would, he wouldn't be, even though he could do these things, he would not do it. It's just like, no, why even do that? Because, and it's always nice when you hear that about people, because obviously if you follow some celebrities, I mean, certain entertainers out there will just show like they're just, hey, private jets, look at all the bling bling and all this stuff like that. But then when you hear about these, when you see like, and I notice it's like a lot with comedians, is I think when their background is they come from, growing up poor or something like that, they just generally, even though they have money, they just go, well, what if it just goes away? So I got to pinch every penny.
You mean being smart? Because
Yes,
that's
being very smart.
what's going to happen.
Yes, which could, absolutely could happen. But it was just, but he was, So I would, not cheap, but thrifty, like you said. That's what kept on hearing when people would talk about how he would spend his money.
Oh, I was just so glad to have this episode. I mean, you're right. This is an episode that just reminds us that Paul Dini worked on Tiny Toon Adventures.
Yes, it's so, and the animation not that great. But
no, but there's some it has moments.
It does.
It has moments, but no, it's the B team. It's the B team animation. But you know what? It works for this episode.
It does.
This episode doesn't need, the A team action animation. Like it's goofy. It's just silly.
It's a silly episode. There's no Superman saving people from, falling debris or falling helicopters or explosions, no lasers, no, it's just a goofy episode of Superman. I mean, it starts off with Superman flying around, and then he saves Mxy, right off the bat when like he, saves him from getting hit by a car. And again, you just hear that voice right away. You're like, Gilbert Gottfried.
McGurk!
Yeah.
McGurk!
Yeah, exactly.
This is so funny because this is pulled directly from Mxy's first appearance.
Is it?
Yes. Superman number 30. It was written by Jerry Siegel. The issue credited art to Joe Shuster, but technically it was Ira Yarborough. That was kind of back in the day when, the creators got the credit, even if they weren't actually the ones doing the work. Bob Kane. So there's just
shots fired.
Shots fired. But yeah, so the whole scene with him looking for McGurk and like running through traffic, and then later on with the Rodin statue, those are literally like pulled straight from Superman number 30.
That's so great. And I love the fact that you brought up Schuster and Siegel, because you see.
Yes, you caught it.
Yes, I caught it. Oh yeah, I saw that. I was like, oh, and I rewound it like just to make sure that I was like, oh yeah, there it is right there. Because when after we get past the him, Superman saving Mxy, and then we get Clark back at the planet, and then Jimmy's reading the latest comic strip. It has him in it. And then when it goes down, you see like by Schuster and Siegel, and I was like, oh, there we go, nice little Easter egg right there.
Yeah, it's so funny, and I love the comic strip. Even the idea of a comic strip is like that's the kind of character Mxyzptlk is like that weird, odd character who would show up in a 3-panel comic strip in the newspaper. Because dear God, I still remember. I remember getting the Sunday newspaper just to get,
Garfield.
The Garfield. What was the other ones I'd love to read? It was Far Side. All that kind of stuff. But because you got that whole like when there was the comics section in the Sunday paper, and it was like, I don't need all this other stuff. Just give me the comic. Give me the funny pages, and that's totally what Mxy is.
Yes, yeah. So it worked, and then of course he pops out of the page and starts. I mean, and so essentially, like this whole episode is it's funny because when I was watching this episode, I was going, okay, so obviously to get rid of Mxy is like he has to say his name. Yeah, Calvin and Hobbes. Thank you, Ryan. I was like, my dad really liked. I was like trying to remember which comic strips that he liked, but Ryan, you nailed it. Calvin and Hobbes, of course. There's also Dilbert, I think.
Dilbert.
Dilbert's a very popular one too. But where was I going with this?
Well, you were talking about the rule, because it's
Oh
interesting
yeah.
because Superman's the one that goes like, well, a game has rules, and Mxy comes up with the rule himself.
Yes, and it's basically saying his name backwards, and it's how do you say it? It's
Kill
how do you
Tipsyism
kill
is backwards.
Kitsism. Kill Kitsism.
Kill no, okay. Say it
See,
with
I could say mix. Go ahead.
okay, Dave. This is gonna be like Sesame Street. Follow the
Oh yeah.
bouncing ball. Okay, kill,
Kill.
tip,
Tip. Yeah.
see,
Do some. Yeah.
some. Kill
Yeah.
Tipsyism.
Kill Tipsism. It's like tipsy with a zim
Yes,
right there.
exactly. Yes.
So there you go. But so he has to say it backwards, and then he'll disappear for 3 months. It's just kind of funny because we get this stretch. We get this stretch of like back, and I'm just kind of wondering like what was happening in between. It's just like an episode. This episode stretches. Does it stretch through all the other things that we've seen Superman do? I mean, it has to, right? Because
I
go through,
would like
year.
to think that the other episodes are happening in those 3 months.
Yes,
in those 3-month blocks.
That's what I was thinking too, because I was like, okay, if we're gonna get this stretch right here, there's definitely other things have happened in between, but it's just kind of funny how he has to think about every 3 months and just kind of be like, oh, here we go again. He knows like, okay, every 3 months, this little guy is gonna be showing up. But I mean, the first time that we actually get a crazy interaction is like when they're at the museum, and then you said the statue. What's the statue called again?
The Thinker by Rodin.
The Thinker, yeah. And it's a interesting scene because obviously like we got Mxy talking about like, oh yeah, that's McGurk. Hey McGurk, and he's like referring to him, and of course the statue gets up, and then Clark changes quickly to Superman, and then starts kind of fighting him, and then punches his head off, but then reality kicks in, and then it's like, oh, Superman just destroyed a statue, and even Lois is like, what the hell? So he's definitely, Mxy's definitely fucking with him pretty well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And then of course when I still the first time he gets him to say, it's like, say my name backwards. How do you do that? Kill Tipsyism. Oh, darn it.
I mean, it's just one of those. It's like it's literally like Bugs Bunny tricking Yosemite
Elmer
Sam
Fudd.
or Elmer Fudd. Yeah, it's like the exchange between Superman and Mxy is like it's just like that. It's like it's Bugs, but Superman is essentially Bugs Bunny, and Mxy is like Elmer Fudd, Yosemite Sam, Daffy Duck, whoever. He's just outsmarting him pretty much through this little run through of just every 3 months, which is pretty cool. And then of course next scene we get is like Clark talking to his parents, and it gets weird.
I thought the
Wait.
bathroom. No, okay. No, okay. What's happening is we're getting all this. That's the thing with this episode. It's so
it bounces.
It bounces. Okay, because all this is happening before we get the rules.
Yeah.
Because he does the walking across the street bit.
Yes.
He does the comic strip bit. He does the Rodin Thinker bit.
Yes.
Then he goes to his parents, and then with his parents is when the rules when the rule gets set, because his parents come back after he makes him say kill Tipsyism for the first time.
Yes.
So it's that sequence of events. It's with his parents that the rules get established.
Yeah, and his parents, of course, they start acting like chickens. Just eating like off the ground. It gets a little
good
weird.
Strong peck when scraping up corn, as Jonathan says.
No, it's because I mean Clark is concerned because he's like, what is happening here? I'm like, obviously it's like he's losing his mind, and it's kind of funny too because you can almost be like, Lois, were you paying attention? Before, because Lois, like when he popped out of the comic strip, obviously Clark was like, did you see the little guy? You see the little guy? And then when he, at the museum and he punches the head off the statue, he was just like, but there was a little, I mean, it's like if Lois was like, could have put that together, like, wait, Clark was seeing a little guy, Superman was seeing a little guy. Hello. But of course not. No, can't do that. Can't do that yet. No, can't do that. But yeah, it is an interesting scene right there, and it was cool to see the parents again. We haven't seen them in a bit.
We haven't. I don't think we've seen Mom and Pa since
Last Son of Croton? No.
Part 2. Yeah.
Part 2? Yeah.
Last Son of Krypton Part 2 was the last time we saw Mom and Pa Kent. So,
but then it gets creepy because they turn into like these big lizard fish monster thingies, and that's creepy. And then it's like, what do you do when it comes to that? Man, I'm tell you what, that's a mind.
I was wrong. It was Last Son of Krypton Part 3 because that's when they decide that he needs to become like, because that's when Martha has that line, at least you're not like that nutball in Gotham City.
That's right. Oh, we love that nutball in Gotham City. Come on. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, it turns into that, and then of course tricks him again to how does he? I forgot exactly how he did that. Well, I like how he turned Jonathan and Martha into that, the farmer and his wife like picture.
Oh yeah, American Gothic. That's the name. That's the name of the painting, American Gothic. Yeah.
It's like, oh, we'll just put them right up here. Okay. It's like,
there where they'll be safe.
They'll be safe up here, So, yeah, I'm going to probably bust out the Gilbert Gottfried a couple more times. But, yeah,
it's fine. It's allowed.
It's allowed.
It's allowed.
But yeah, this is where he does explain that I'm the superior being from the fifth dimension, and doing all that. And he's talking about how, like, you hear about those stories when it comes to the genies and magicians and stuff. That's all me, basically claiming that that's him. That's him doing all that. So, he's just trying to like talk himself up a little bit here to Superman.
Yeah. And then, of course, he was like, his whole point is that humans got boring, but we have Superman now.
Yes.
This is a worthy challenge.
Exactly. So, so then, of course, the whole thing, and of course, yeah, he says his name backwards and doing all that, and then of course everything's back to reality. And then I just love how like Clark's like, oh, he's like, oh, nothing. What's for dinner? And he's just petting the cat.
Like, yeah, I know, right?
Like, okay.
The whole time the cat was like, that's streaky, isn't it?
Yeah. What the hell? There's something just popped up on your thing again.
Oh, yeah, I see the what?
And you yeah.
And it froze. I don't understand.
I know that because last night on the vodka stream, you had fireworks show up in your that's interesting. I'm not touching anything.
No idea what's going on.
That is interesting. You got like a nice little. That was cool. It's him. It's Mxy. It's Mxy. It's him.
Oh, I have no idea, but this would be the episode for that to happen with.
Exactly. A little bubble coming out with a thumbs up. He's messing. It's from the fifth dimension there, Scott. That's what's happening. But what I love about this episode too is we see how Superman shaves.
I know this happened. I think in the I didn't bother to look it up about showing. Because I think this was a John Byrne thing about using his heat ray vision to burn it off. But this episode was the first time I ever saw that happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next time I saw it happen in the comics was during the whole Superman Blue era. Do you remember that?
I remember. When was that?
That was 96, 97. Superman loses his powers and he gets those blue electric powers.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Because there's actually a scene of him trying to do that number where he shaves, but because instead of it being his heat ray vision, it's like the blue electrical powers, and he literally like kicks his ass across the apartment. And Lois is like, "What the hell just happened?"
But yeah, there's always like that questions like, how does Superman shave? And it was funny because people will still like bring that up, and it's like, and I remember this, and I remember like when the episode started, I was like. Oh yeah, we're gonna get that scene where we actually see Superman shave, because obviously you can't shave with a Kryptonian like razor blade, and he can't do it with a normal razor blade. So yeah, he just uses the mirror and just laser eyes it right off. I mean, it's efficient. It's just funny when he just walks up to the mirror and he's got like a 5 o'clock shadow going on.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So I'm looking at something here. There is literally a Screen Rant article about how Superman shaves.
Yes.
cannot believe I said that. But
yeah.
oh, let's see.
What does it have in there? It's got to have
Oh,
this episode.
oh
in there.
god, it does. It does. It does.
Yeah.
It says in the Silver Age, it was established that Superman's hair and fingernails do not grow when he's on Earth. So in the Silver Age, they just like,
they're like, we're not even gonna bother.
we're never gonna go there. We're not even gonna go there.
Jeez.
Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Yep, it was John Byrne. John Byrne was the first one in the comics to have it, where he bounces his heat ray vision off of a reflective surface, and it allows him to shave. Because then other John Byrne inspired Superman, including this episode, and then Lois and Clark did the same thing, where he'd use his heat ray vision to shave.
Right, I forgot about that. Yeah. Oh man, totally forgot about that. But I think like anytime I heard that brought up, I just always thought of, because this scene right here,
and then of course the first time I saw it happen.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
me too.
Prince.
Yes, so that's why I always referred to it. I'm like, it just reflects our heat ray right off the mirror, and then of course Mxy shows up again in the mirror, but
wearing a towel. I love that part.
Yeah, I know, right? And because obviously Clark is wearing a towel, we get some we get to see the physique of Superman, and then I forgot exactly. I forgot to write it down. How does he trick him again?
Oh, because he immediately goes, "Don't you have to say Mxyzptlk?" Yeah. No, you have to say Tiltzism, not Mxyzptlk. Oh, darn it.
Yes, it's like one of those again. But I like how the next time, so 3 months go again, and Clark, he really did it. He was like, you know what? I know I'm gonna have to be a little more crafty next time. And we have Clark at his desk, and he prints out something that he wrote, and it's got a bunch of typos. And all the typos spell his name.
I know.
And I was like, good on Clark. That was pretty crafty. And sure enough, gets rid of him right away. It's like he knew that he was going to show up right then and there. And sure enough, fold him again.
But what I love is after that one, when we spend like a chunk of the episode actually in the fifth dimension with Mxy and what was it? Gixie, I try to remember his girlfriend's name.
I don't remember. I wrote it down. She reminded me of Jessica Rabbit.
Rabbit.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Get out of my head, Dave.
That's what I wrote. I was like, yeah. Girlfriend looks like Jessica Rabbit because the red hair over one eye kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or she's like voluptuous and everything.
Oh, she's just like the perfect hourglass.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, because we get like a nice little montage of because obviously we meet her, and then he's just like losing his mind, and he's like he's got to figure out exactly how to defeat him. So we get this montage of him trying to figure it out, and then she's like changing into all these like different outfits, like
which are all actual pinups.
Yes, big time pinups, because she's doing the poses too, like
she's doing the poses and the outfits, because there was a Betty Page.
Oh,
there was I cannot believe I'm forgetting the woman who would wear like the fruit hat.
No, I don't even know. I can't remember who she is either.
But all of those are like actual pinup poses and outfits. And it's just so funny.
It was funny, and he's not paying attention to it, of course, at all, because he's so obsessed with trying to defeat Superman. But we get that little montage, and then of course we get back 3 months later, and Clark is just dreading the return. And by the way, too, I love the fact that like after the last time when he tricked him with the typos, like even Lois like grabs like the sheet of paper. It's a lot of typos in here, Kent. It's like she's even going, what the hell? And it's like, yeah.
But what I loved is that while we're doing that little fifth dimension segment, he builds this giant battle robot. He says, I will get you, Superman. And he disappears. And his girlfriend goes, 5, 4, 3. Darn it.
Oh, yeah, we get that little bit right there where it's like,
I love
to see the other side. You have to get to see the other side of it. So she knows, like, oh yeah, he's gonna fail again. But yeah, so when we get Clark, of course, like dreading that somebody's going to be showing up. And then this is where it, like, you know, gets a little bit more intense. This is where everybody in the Daily Planet starts turning into farm animals.
Many of which are actual events that happened in comic book history.
There it is.
Did you know this?
No, I did not.
Lois did get turned into a horse.
Did she?
Superman's girlfriend, Lois Lane, number 92.
I just realized I had the wrong background up. Whoops. I was like looking, I'm like, this is not episode 19. Fail. I told you. I've been working all weekend and my brain's a little fried, so sorry about that. But anyways, go ahead. Keep going.
And of course, you know, if speaking of Rebecca, since you mentioned it, you know, on Supergirl Radio, they frequently talk about Jimmy Olsen, Turtle Boy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, she brought it up on the Vodka stream one time. Yeah,
exactly. Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, number 53. So the fact that when Mixie's turning the Daily Planet stuff into animals, it was very intentional on Paul Dini's part that Lois got turned into a horse and Jimmy Olsen got turned into a turtle.
Okay, yeah, okay. Now, okay, that I didn't even think about that. Did not even think about that.
That's where my brain goes. I'm like, oh yeah, these are real things, and I had to go and look at the issue numbers because I was like, I'm going to pull this out.
Yeah. And then I love how Clark is just, I think Clark, or like, you know, Clark just knows, like, okay, this is all happening. I'm just going to, you know, I'm just going to walk away. I like how he walks away and he just strips his like clothes off, and then he's like Superman. It's like he knows, like, all right, I already know this is not really happening and blah, blah, blah. So I'm just going to walk away and just go, and then all of a sudden he's just in Superman guitar. And then and then Mixie's like, well, you know, what about your friends? He's all, you know, I'll expose you. I'll reveal who you are. And he goes, well, you know, I could find another disguise.
That is like the most Superman, I don't give a fuck.
Yes. Yeah. But I really like that. I was like, yeah, he knows what he's dealing with here because he's been dealing with it for the past year. So he's just like, you know what? I know how to deal with this guy. And of course, you know, we love how Tim Daly just says all these lines, and it's just great. I'll find another disguise. You know, it's like, that's funny. I like it.
He just blows him off, which is perfect because Mixie has already established he's changing the rules. That now he has to say Kiltipsism twice back, like in a row. Yes. You know, it has to be Kiltipsism for him to do it.
Yeah, he says Kiltipsism, and then he'll say other stuff, and then he'll say it again, and he's just basically making a point that he can say it, but of course he can't. You know, he can't say it 2 times in a row, so he can, you know, he's fitting other words in between them, so he's making it a point. And you know, it's cool. And then this is where he just gets pissed, and he's like, all right, it's on, because obviously Superman's flying away. And then this is where we're gonna start watching the clip.
The Looney Tune vibes.
It's so Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
Okay, hold on here. Why is this? Come on, things are just not working today. All right. Well,
hello, lady.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're getting messed with by the 5th dimension. What is okay? Yeah, it is not working. It's just showing me that it's just going. Oh, there we go. Jesus, took a little bit.
You had the pinwheel of death.
Yes, I hate that. Where it's just spinning, spinning, and spinning. It's like, why? I had the pick. I mean, geez. Well, anyways, here we go. Right here. So the clip. Here we go. Him flying, of course, with his arms out like that, as like a plane, as opposed to Superman. Soder.
And now he actually is a plane.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, the score is great.
This is a hard. I love the World War II sound effects.
So ridiculous. His hat. He's got his hat on too. I love that little top.
Oh my god, the hat.
Yeah.
You haven't gotten to the Mixie episode of My Adventures with Superman, have you?
Oh, I have.
You have? Oh my god.
Interesting how they brought him into that one too.
With a kryptonite warhead.
Oh man. And it's really funny watching him. You can, when you know what the gag is at the end, you can kind of see the letters.
Yes. Flying around. Come on. Tricking him again. You know exactly what he's doing. See that? So
There's
Looney
always
Tunes
something
right
about
there.
the thing like the solid thing, like bending.
Yeah.
You know?
So
I
Looney Tunes.
tried, Lou, but not good enough.
They're just flying around. Good old score and sound effects. Gotta love it. Like you kind of start picking it up right there. Like, oh, okay.
Okay.
What's the matter,
It's called
Super?
cursive,
Feeling
kids.
that heat?
All right. That used to be taught. And then the poor Daily Planet globe.
That poor globe, I
It
swear.
just gets damaged so much, man. Now they gotta repair it again.
In
Did you?
your face, Superman!
No, loser.
In your Eloy twists his head like
Yep.
180.
Oh man.
This
wrote
part,
my own name.
I love the way this is animated as he's slowly
Yeah,
like
starts breaking down. Yeah,
Twice.
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 You were just toying with me the whole time. Even from the start.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Never had you fooled for a second.
Oh,
Sorry.
You
Sorry.
were the superior being all along.
Well.
And now I'm gone. Gone
You could be cocky, and then I like that. Yeah.
oh, the balloon.
Yeah. And now you're back. And Lois starts eating a carrot. Of course. She's like, "Why am I eating this?" And she's talking. I love that. There's Lois.
Oh, this episode is just so ridiculous, and I love
So
it.
ridiculous.
I love it.
Yeah, I mean, you have to be in a mood. You have to be in a mood. If you know, it just for a goofy episode, you really do. A very
But this
Looney
is
Tunes
Goofy
episode.
done really well, though.
It is. It is like it's smart. We see how Superman shaves. We see how Clark, how he's a smart dude, and he was outsmarting this being from a fifth dimension that nobody else can see, and he was outsmarting him every 3 months. So it's like it's so interesting, and then of course we go back to his home, his lair. He's so obsessed with Superman. He's got posters, he's got a figurine thing, but then of course we get that whole thing where it's like, oh, now that you're stuck here, obviously his girlfriend's like, they do that whole thing where it's like, what, you weren't doing that before?
I'm like, seriously, have you looked at your girl?
Yeah, you're a gremlin. You're not good to look at. She's gorgeous. How are you not having? And then of course he's like, well, I can get used to this or whatever the hell he says, but but it's just kind of funny because as they're like kissing and he sees a Superman doll, and of course he zaps it and turns it into like the monkey,
the monkey with symbols.
Yeah, the symbols. Yeah. So, and it's just like womp womp womp. So there you go. It's like you said, it's a goofy episode. It's a fun episode. And
It makes you smile. It just makes you smile.
It does.
And it teaches you how to say this freaking name.
I know, right? Exactly. So both frontwards and backwards. So.
Frontwards and backwards. Yes, exactly. It's like the joke I'm used to seeing. There's a meme that goes in like book club groups that says, people who read physical books know how to spell the names. People who listen to the audiobooks, they know how to pronounce the names.
Screw that, right? No, seriously. All right, what do we got next week?
Ooh, next week we have the episode Sins of the Father.
Sins of the Father. Ooh, are we getting more Jarrell in here? Right?
No, we're going back to Gotham City.
Oh, we are going back to Gotham City. That's what that.
Because we have an origin story we need to tell.
Sins of the Father. God, that is ringing a bell. Sins of Come on. All right. Ooh, no, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. But Sins of the Father. That's what we're watching next week. We're going back to Gotham City, folks. Yay. That'll be
Gotham
fun.
City.
Yeah, exactly. We're going to talk about that freaking Gotham City, that weirdo in Gotham City, as Martha called him, or whatever she called him.
Yeah, it's been a hot minute since Holiday Nights, but yeah, back to season 3 of Batman the Animated Series. Yes.
Sins of a Father. Man, I'm like sitting there going, it's right there.
Oh, the
It's-
problem here's the thing though. As soon as you see this is the one time that
Ah.
the artwork on Max is like on point. Like it'll give you everything you need once you look at the artwork on Max.
I have to look because it's right there. It is right there. Hold on. Where is it at? What the
Season
hell?
3.
Season 3. Where are you at? Why is it not in the most recent? Oh, come on. Oh, jeez. Oh no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. That's why. Okay.
Oh, that would help. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I was looking at the For You part, not the.
Oh, not the continue watching part.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Finally
Oh,
clicked for you.
Christ. Jesus Christ, of course. Yes, there it is. Obviously, the origin that we were wondering why we didn't get when we first saw Mr. Tim Drake in the first place. Yes. Okay, yes. That's that. Yeah. I knew it was ringing true, and I'm like, what the I was like, why is that sound? Yeah, so there it is.
I love the whole time that it finally clicks for you that thumbs up thing happened again. It's like
Did it really?
It did. It was like, good for you, Dave. You figured it out.
Look at it, did it again. What is that? And then look at that. It's like right when you were like this, it did it. What?
I know. I was watching it happen.
That is so hilarious. I don't know what the hell that. I'm not.
I don't know what that is
I'm not
either.
pushing anything. That is interesting. Oh man, that is interesting. We're at to figure like why that is happening with your camera. I mean, at least you're not like pixelating. You haven't done that or anything.
I know.
So.
I'm shocked. We've
Yeah.
done the entire episode without me pixelating. I didn't.
Even last episode and last night on the vodka stream, you didn't do it. So I mean, now this is the new thing. Maybe the whole time it was trying to do these weird little things, and now something happened where you're not going to be like getting all pixelated and choppy, and now it just shows a little bubble. But that was so cool.
Get thumbs up and fireworks.
Oh man, so random. All right, guys. So yeah, watch that episode, Sins of a Father, Back to Gotham City, Season 3, Batman. Make sure you watch that, and we'll be right back here next Sunday. All right, go ahead and plug away, Scott.
Well, of course, you can find me on X at ScottDC27. You can find me on Instagram at McMarlin. You can find me on Vero at Scott McClellan. You can find my podcast, the DC Squadcast, wherever podcasts can be found, where we literally just dropped a new episode about 2 hours ago. It is scene 16 of the Batman, scene by scene. The Riddler gets the DA. So go listen to our commentary of that episode. Wherever podcasts can be found. We're on Vero, Facebook, YouTube, with the entire Necro shows at squadcastmedia.com.
There you go. All right, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Film Junkie Live. Got lots to talk about, of course. And smash that like, thumbs up, subscribe, do all that. You can listen on audio too if you want to go back to previous episodes. It's all there. Spotify and all the other streaming, everything. So, all right, guys, we love you, and we will talk to you later.